Hi. All right. Hindi na. Mic is not really that loud. All right. Now we'll be doing the strat plan. All right. So it's very important that we understand the environment. Because before we do the strat plan, we have to check on our previous performance. Like, for example, what are the things that you are doing in your church? The ministry, the services. We need to have an account of that. So, for today, I want you to look back and see what have you done in the past 3 years. Okay? Because in planning, again, it has to be evidence-based. It has to be data-driven decisions. So, we will base our decision on the baseline. No? So, what have you done in terms of ministry, in terms of your family ministry, in terms of discipleship? So, what have you done? Okay? Another one is, do you have in your church, do you have your mission and vision or values? Is there anyone here who has mission and vision in their churches? Raise your hand. Show of hands if you have vision, mission, and core values in your church. None?
We have our conference vision and mission. So we would like to know, is it important for the church to have their own vision and mission?
Yes. That is aligned to the conference vision and mission. All right. So, let me just give you some highlights of planning. This illustration talks about strategies. Okay? On the first column, you have directional strategy, meaning that will be the direction of the church. So, it's very important that we have a vision, we have a mission, and we have the core values. Because that will be measured and that will be our parameters, our dimension, if we know that the church is moving or not. Because I cannot say, oh, your church is successful. You're meeting your target. You're moving your church to its vision. Right? But how can I say that if we don't have a vision? And we don't have a mission, we don't have a core values. So the first strategy that we need to craft is directional strategy. And that is your mission, vision, and core values. On the next column is adaptive strategy. And that's how we must do a SWOT analysis. Because in the SWOT analysis, we will identify the strength of the church, the spiritual gifts of the church, the weakness of the church, the opportunities of the church, and the threats of the church. Alright? And now, that's why it's called adaptive strategy, because it will adapt depending on the situation. Like for example, if we combine strengths and opportunity, it means positive. That's why, as you can see in the strategy, number 1, expansion. Right? We need to expand. Why? Because, for example, our strength is the members of this church. And then the opportunity is we have a lot of unreached people here. So what will you do? You have to expand, right? You have to do some missionary work, evangelism. So that's expansion. Okay? But what will you do if you combine weakness and threats? It means negative, negative. So as you can see in the strategy, retrench, stabilize. Alright, so I won't bore you because when I teach this, I teach this for one semester. So I'm just telling you that the important strategy that we have to craft today is your mission, vision, or values. And then we will have to conduct our SWOT analysis. We need to identify your strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Alright? Now, so, once we're done with our mission vision, we will craft our SWOT analysis. So, S means strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So what do you do with your strength? We capitalize. Weakness, we shore up. Opportunities, we invest. Threats, we identify. Now, this is internal. The other one is external. Okay? Don't get confused. Because internal environment can be controlled, so we can do something about it. External environment, that's uncontrollable. Okay? And for the strength and weakness, we need one, primary data. So for example, you want to know the strengths of your church. You ask the members, are we an ideal church? You ask the community, are we in the radar? Do they know that there's a Seventh-day Adventist that exists in this suburb, in this place? So when they say, yeah, and then what will they tell you? What is the reputation of your church? Oh, those people, if they say something bad, that is your weakness. If they say something good, that is your strength. Right? Or they're very helpful. They're always here. They're feeding the poor. If that is the case, then strength. But if they're saying, oh, he doesn't mind, they'll just come here, always frowning. They don't even know how to smile. Oh, is that strength or weakness? It's the weakness. So that's how we populate the SWOT. Because later on, we will use the issues to generate strategy. Okay? Controllable, uncontrollable. Now, how do we identify the strengths and weakness? What is the primordial function of the church? You tell me. What is the purpose of the church? Reach out to the world around. Right. So, You ask for the primordial function. And you said to reach out. And then you ask, is that your strength or your weakness? If that is your weakness, then put it there in your weakness quadrant. If that is your strength, put it on your strength quadrant. It means that you're effective. But how do you measure effectiveness? For example, you have targets. 30 baptism per year, 100 baptism per year. Because if you say you want around 100,000 per year baptism, and you reach 200,000, is that a weakness or a strength? Strength. But if you don't hit your target, then that is something that you have to improve on, and that is your weakness. Because if you don't put them in their proper quadrant, the strategy will be wrong. Right? So that's why you say primary data, it means that it doesn't come from you. When you ask, are you effective? Are you a successful church? Are you a strategic church? And then you say, well, this is our evidence. Right? That's why we ask for our church members, our catchment area. How are we being perceived? What is your, there are two kinds, you know. What is the reputation of this church? So you ask the Catholic, you ask the Muslims, how are you being perceived by this religious group? Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to understand a little bit more on the weaknesses. Suppose you have a church that is conducting lots of baptisms, membership is growing, outreach is being done effectively, then it doesn't always become too clear what the weaknesses of the church is. In this case, which indicators that we use to determine the weakness of a church that perceivably is doing very well?
Well, you look at retention rate. Because you'll just be looking at what? Baptismal rate, right? But do they retain these people? Do they retain all those baptism? So we measure quantity and we also have to measure quality. Alright? Because sometimes I heard this in the Philippines, you know. There were two pastors walking and they were sharing stories. And he said, you know what? That person there, I think we baptized him 30 times already. Why? Because they just want to report the number. So if that's the case, we'll witness. So there has to be baptism and there has to be nurturing of those people who are baptized. Right? So to say that it's of quality and that is your strength. So you look at performance. Pastor Cardal was talking about our targets, our goals. So this time, set a goal. Because we don't know our performance yet. Because we don't have a target. Like how many missionary work, or how many health lectures, how many giving of the leaflets, you know. So you need to have a target. And you will see if There will be people, no, when they reach this, how many books did we sell? Those are measures of quantity. And the quality will be, there will be someone coming here and they learned about Seventh-day Adventists through our books, through our radio, AWR, Hope Channel. Do we have that here? Yes, sir. You see? So we use all those things to propagate the gospel. Okay. Later, I'll be giving examples so that we can fast track. Okay? So, we talk about STIS. We talk about the process. You know, in some churches, they have their own church manual. I hope you have one with you. And that will be your guide. Okay? And you can add other processes that will improve your ministry. Okay? So, what do I mean by STIS? STIS means staff, technology, information, synergy. Okay? So, we use that in identifying strength and weakness. Like for example, how is the situation in your church? Are the elders, deacons, and the other officers active? Do they have a plan? Every department has a plan. Is it working? Is it active? So, you look at the staff, if they're active, they are, if they have a plan, they have utilization of their budget, they have the budget, then it's strength. Okay? But if there's no program, no implementation, then it means it's a weakness. Okay? How about technology? Are we using social media in our ministry? Yeah? Do you know, in our university, we have a survey, and we'd like to know how many percent are reading the newspaper, and how many percent of people are just looking at their social media for news and for other information. And apparently, 90% of our members, in our country, is using social media. They're not buying newspaper anymore. So how will you spread the gospel? Alright? So try to look at the technology and how can you use them for your own advantage if you want to do this. Alright? How about information? Again, it has to be database. You need to have registry. How many baptism, how many flyers did you give, how many crusades, right? So you have to have this information, and it has to be intentional. Okay? So that's why we have to plan for it. We will not overwhelm you. We will just simplify this planning. I know because we have to, I cannot just make you do 100 push-up here. You have to start with 1. Then later on, we go on 30. Okay? So we will slowly improve our plans and targets. Okay? Now, on the other hand, we have to populate the other side, the external environment. So in here, we need to look at the issues, strategic issues in the political scenario. Just like in the Philippines, we have corrupt officials, government officials. Is that an opportunity or a threat? It can be both. Yeah? Opportunity to pray for them. Alright? How about the environment? Do you have calamities here? In the Philippines, no? We have everything. We have tidal wave, we have super typhoon, we have earthquakes, volcano just erupted adjacent to my house. So we have everything. So does that affect the church? Is that an opportunity or a threat? Okay? For example, the economy is booming. Is that an opportunity or a threat? So you have to document all those strategic issues and populate as well. Put them for opportunity. But in the lens of the church, what is your opportunity? Like for example, what is the majority religion in South Africa? Is that an opportunity for you? You see? So that's how you figure out what will be the opportunity and what will be the threat. Like for example, in the legal aspects, if the government says, oh, we will have the Sunday law. Is that an opportunity for you or a threat? Can be both. So you will use all those issues. You will combine the issues and you will strategize. Okay? Technology. How about AI? Artificial intelligence. Is that an opportunity or a threat? So it depends on what lens, what hat do you wear, but it can be an opportunity and it can also be a threat. Okay? All of these issues external to you, they are uncontrollable, meaning you cannot do something about it, but this can be one. It can impact your decision making. Okay? And then competitors. When you say competitors, the number one competitor is the devil. Okay? So, is he a threat or an opportunity? And then you look at the other sect, you look at the other religion. How will you treat them? Will you treat them as a friend or as a foe? Okay? So all you have to do is figure out and reflect and think so that you can strategize. First thing that we need to do, you pray, right? So you ask for guidance from God. Now, we are about to craft our mission, vision, and core values. Okay, do you have your papers with you? Yeah.
In order to do this exercise, we're going to divide into our different churches. Because you are going to craft your vision and your mission, right? So, on my left-hand side,